So, welcome to my garage. I don't know really where to start, but I have a Datsun. It's a 280Z, 1975. And about 2019, I found pieces of piston skirt in my oil pan. That's not a good thing. Datsun engines are becoming more difficult to find, and at that time I was living in California and didn't really have space for spares. So the idea of buying spare engines just wasn't feasible. The thing about Datsun motors, or any motor that's not highly widely available, isn't necessarily that they're inherently expensive. It's that to find good deals, you have to be searching for sometimes a long time. So when the good deals show up, you have to jump on them. If you have a small house in the suburbs and a 2-car garage, you don't necessarily have the luxury of just storing spare engines because you found a deal on them. So I decided to go a different route, and after many years later now, and something about a pandemic, I have an engine. Hey, look at that. So I'm gonna have some videos about just the process of what I'm going through, explaining some of the details of what maybe not other people talk about, hopefully filling in some of the gap of what you might see elsewhere on the interwebs. I claim to be no expert. I've done a lot of research on a lot of topics. I happen to know a thing or two, but I, like many of you, am always learning. So join me on this adventure of learn together we. So tonight, this is what we're working on. So I have one engine plate made. Hard to see in the dark there. Let me move my light over. Oh, it's not there. Where did I leave it? Oh. I'm super organized. Oh, wait, no. That's the passenger side. That one goes over yonder. I have another one. Let's see if we can go find it. Oh, look, I found it. So 2 bolts that sit lower, but they're 3 bolts. They're all in different planes, so I needed a different thickness there and a different thickness there. These are M12, and I happen to have some lug nuts that were M12 lying around, so that's what got used. Better to use what you have than to not use anything at all and never move forward. So that being said, there's a bolt right down there and a bolt over here where my pinky is, and then one up above, tucked up underneath the starter. That goes right there. And then when we have the chassis side done, which will be a plate that goes somewhere like yonder, and then there'll be another plate over here. And then between those 2 plates will go a bushing like so, and then we'll make a tube that goes from this here over to the plate. Make sense? Good, got it. All right, so tonight, if I could just get 2 more holes put into this. This is actually a mount plate, kind of like that one, that would fit a Ford modular engine, which is what I'm not doing. That's a whole nother story. So I got to figure out the dimensions here between this hole, that hole, and that hole. In theory, I could also use this 4th hole, but I'm honestly not sure that's required in my use case. So yeah, let's get to working. boys and girls, is why you always wear eye protection. Just like me. Do as I say, not as I do. So I have a second hole now. I was trying to reuse this piece that already had a hole in it, and that hole's probably going to be too low, but it's better to waste a piece of scrap than to make a new piece of scrap. Something like that. We'll see if this is even remotely close before we worry about the third hole. So I have two options. I could either try to elongate this hole, oval it out with what crude tools I have, also known as just bits, and just waller it out. You know, the whole angle the drill bit trick. Or I can start with a new piece. I originally put these bends in it trying to add some strength to this because the motor that it was supposed to go to was literally twice the weight. Maybe that's not quite fair. Close to twice the weight. I might just go make a new piece real quick. Then the question is, if I'm gonna make a new piece, do I go ahead and just shoot to grab that fourth bolt since I'm here anyway? Decisions. I think I will. All right, back to the drawing board. Ta-da! It doesn't have to be pretty, it's not the final shape it will be, but it's enough metal to get our 4 holes in, and then we can make it pretty afterwards. Just get it going. Alright, so that looks approximately right. Alright, let's try this again. Two holes later, let's see how we did. So, how did I say this went? It goes out like that. And by the way, you may have seen me there when after I cut this piece, I took the flap disc to it all the way around. I really wasn't focusing on anything particular as far as aesthetics go. It was really just when you cut something like that with a cutting disc, you have sharp edges everywhere. I've cut my hands many a time. It's nice to mitigate as many of those as possible, just cutting your sharp edges off of your pieces you're working with. Like I said, you can always make it pretty later. It doesn't have to be perfect just for fitting things up, but it's also nice when it's not actively trying to take pieces of your flesh away. Maybe that might be close enough. All right. So in order to have hardware, I got hardware from a local store. I mean, they're a box chain, but not a bad one. I'll leave them nameless for now because maybe yours is different. I don't want to badmouth all of them, but the one local to me does not carry what's called JIS bolts, or the common standard used for all Japanese domestic manufactured vehicles for most of history. All that really means is that for this 10 millimeter bolt diameter, it has a 19 millimeter head on it. And if you've ever worked on Hondas, Toyotas, Nissans, you know that 19 millimeter bolt heads are rather uncommon. Well, yeah, because for the same bolt size, you would have a 17 millimeter head. So, while this is probably fine for mock-up purposes, I'm probably gonna buy GIS bolts online somewhere before all this is done. But this is good enough to get us going. Is this even tightening? Am I going anywhere? Am I going in circles? Hard to tell. Well, maybe I am. Am I even still recording? Oh, it is. Good. I don't feel like this is getting any tighter. I'm worried, guys. Either I'm stripping it or I've got the wrong bolt and I thought I had the right bolt thread, but maybe I don't. Maybe it's a 12 millimeter bolt and I'm just dumb. Or it's not a 19. What on earth? Maybe I'm just going to the end of a rim. I don't know. Oh. Yeah, it's not a 19. Is it an 18? Does the world really hate me that much? Let's try. 15. Where's my 18? Oh. Where are you? That's a 15. Yeah. 18. Wherefore art thou 18? I don't know. Maybe. I had a whole adventure down here. That's a 17. Oh, that does fit. Wait, what is this then? What is, oh, it's a 14. See, here I am. I'm getting you guys bad information. So, it's a 12 millimeter bolt. That would be 17 versus 19. This is a 10 millimeter bolt, which would be 17 in what you'll commonly find here in the United States over the counter for metric bolts. And then it's a 14 if it's actually jazz. 10 millimeter. Yeah, that's gonna make us progress. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now we're getting somewhere. All right. Gotta get this other one in there. Come on. Feels like the holes are still a little bit close together. I'm having to push this kind of all the way apart, it feels like. Just a touch. I know half of my 4 viewers are probably thinking, how on earth does Nathan work in the garage with his hair down? That seems like a recipe for disaster. And you're right. You know my secret? I normally have my hair up. I didn't think about it today, that's all. And now my hands are already dirty, so, you know, it is what it is. Okay, the bolt's going in. Slightly begrudgingly. It's a little bit tight, so I need to waller out this hole just a touch towards the outside. It's okay if it's not perfect, fellas. Or fellettes, as Derek would say. Y'all know Derek, right? You should know Derek. Alright, we're gonna call that tight enough. And as much as I would love to get all 4 of those bolt holes done tonight, snapping that bit set me back a little bit, and realistically, I didn't have a whole lot of time tonight anyway. That's okay. We'll come back around maybe tomorrow night. Maybe it'll be the night after. We just won't let it be a week. We move just a little bit at a time. The key is to keep jamming.